All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostle and elders of the great millstone, and a salutation to the Akins, pushing the truth and sincerity. I want to dive right into this. This is like the dry bones of Israel, or basically the elect. The elect will awaken. 2/3 are going to remain asleep. Okay. This is Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 19. It says, I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and curses. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live. Okay, so you choose life and you will live. Okay, you're going to die on this side. Mentally, we're dead to this place. But when we get to the kingdom, that's going to be life. Okay, we actually physically dead now, and mentally we're alive. Okay, because we deny this flesh on a daily basis, and it's basically killing it off, so to say. Okay, so we physically dead because the flesh wants to do things that it's like oil and water. It don't mix. Like the spirit and the flesh, it just don't mix. You know, spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. So we basically, our spirit wants to do the righteous thing, but our flesh wants to be flesh. It wants to be wicked. Okay. But it says, choose life, so thou and thy seed may live. Okay, so when you choose life, you keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, call on Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And if you are here for an extended amount of time, you will pass those things on to your children. Okay, and they would, in their mind frames, they will be alive. Okay, and physically dead here. Okay. This is Jeremiah chapter 8. Now I said, you have a choice between life and death. Choose life. Okay, this is Jeremiah chapter 8. I'm going to go back to 1. I'm going to start at 1. It says, at that time, saith Yahweh, they shall bring out the bones of... At that time, said Yahweh, they shall bring out the bones of the king of Judah, and the bones of the princes, and the bones of the priests, and the bones of the prophets, and the bones of the inhabitants of Jerusalem out of their graves. And they shall spread them before the sun and the moon and all the host of heaven, whom they have loved and whom they have served, and after whom they have walked, and whom they have sought, and whom they have worshipped. They shall not be gathered nor buried. They shall be for dung upon the face of the earth. And death shall be chosen rather than life. So there you go. So Israel, our nation of people, we chose death. Contrary to Deuteronomy 30 and 19. Okay. And that's something our nation have real bad. We choose the things that pleases the flesh and not the spirit. Okay, so it says right there in verse 3, it says, and death shall be chosen rather than life by all the residue of them that remain of this evil family. Israel is an evil family. Okay, the whole nation. But you have a chosen few that's going to get it. It says, which remain in all the places whither I have driven them, said Yahweh of hosts. Verse 4, moreover, thou shalt say unto them, thus saith Yahweh, shall they fall and not rise? Shall he turn away and not return? So it's asking you a question. It says, shall these bones, shall they fall and not rise again? You know, it says, shall they turn away? Shall he turn them away and not return? So is he going to do away with them, basically? It says, when then is why then is the people of Jerusalem slidden back by a perpetual backsliding? Like we always will like fall into captivity, and I always seek the Most High and repent, and He'll forgive us, and we'll go right back into captivity again. Perpetual backsliding. It says they hold fast deceit. They refuse to return. I hearkened and heard, but they spake not aright. No man repented him of his wickedness, saying, what have I done? Like basically doing wicked and then asking like, what have I done wrong? You know, it says everyone turned to his course as the horse rusheth into the battle. So you'll be righteous and you'll go right back to doing wickedness and then sit up and act like you didn't do nothing wrong. But the key thing in here is we choose death, and he said the bones will be spread out all over. And it says moreover, it says, shall they fall and not arise? Shall he turn away and not return? Okay. Now, these bones, okay, it says, basically, will these people be put away and not be returned to me? And we know that can't be possible because it will go against the promise that he made to our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay. Now, go to Ezekiel, the 37th chapter. Start at verse 1. Now it says, the hand of Yahweh was upon me and carried me out in the spirit of Yahweh and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones. Remember those bones were spread out? Okay. It says, and caused me to pass by them round about. And behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. That's our people. And that dry would be just like when we read over in Jeremiah, and it said, shall they not return? And like they was a perpetual, what was the word to use? Backsliding. That's why the bones are very dry. You look at our people today and they continue in wickedness. It's something that we just do. Okay. It says, and they were very dry. And that's how our people are. Very dead. Very, very dead. Okay. Verse 3, it says, and he said unto me, son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Yahweh, power, thou knowest. Again, he said unto me, prophesy unto these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of Yahweh. And that's what we're doing now. Those dry bones, some of those dry bones can be moved, but we're going to get a little further into it. It says, thus saith the Most High unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. Okay, so the Most High gave the word, and Ezekiel was a chosen vessel. Okay, but it's a parable, and that's how we are today. Like when we prophesy and bring things out, those dry bones are going to be brought to life, but it's only going to be the chosen bones or the chosen men. Okay, it says, verse 6, and I will lay sinews upon you and will bring up flesh upon you and cover you with skin and put breath in you and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh. So that's the process. We were all once dry bones, and then we got this truth, and then we became basically like Adam, a living soul. Or we knew the law, statutes, and commandments, or we was awakened, okay? We woke up. He woke us up. When that word got to us, it says, I will put the breath in you and ye shall live. Okay, the breath of life, that's Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, that's the word. Okay, and you're gonna wake up. And it says, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh. So the people that still sleep, they still calling on Christ, Jesus, because they're still in that dead mind state. Those bones are still laid down very dry in the valley. They're dead. Okay. It says, verse 7, so I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone. Okay. It says, so everything starts falling into place. Everything in this truth start falling into place, and you really start understanding. That's when you coming alive. You know, you become like a whole. All right. You start getting answers in life on like why things were the certain ways that they were. You coming together. Everything's coming together. All right. It says, verse 8, and when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came up upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them. Okay. So in this stage, it's kind of like when you start keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, wisdom and knowledge comes upon you. And that only comes when you fear Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. Okay, so there was no breath in them. It says, then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith Yahweh the Most High, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. Okay, so those bones are what we're prophesying to. Not everyone's gonna get it though. Okay, it says, so I prophesy, and he commanded me, as he commanded me, and the breath came unto them, and they lived and stood up upon their feet, an exceeding great army, 144,000 men. Says, then he said unto me, son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, our bones are dried, and our hope is lost. We are cut off for our parts. Therefore prophesy and say unto them, thus said Yahweh, behold, my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come up out of your graves and bring you into the land of Israel. Now this is the elect, because they're going to wake up, and when they get to the other side, they're going to have to repopulate and bring 2/3 back. Okay, it says, now this is like a real personal thing. It's saying, therefore prophesy and say unto them, thus said Yahweh power, behold, O my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come up out of your graves. So when we was in that sleep mind state and dead, it was certain individual graves that spirit, if you will, so say, went to and woke up. It was only certain graves it went to. The rest of them remained dead. Okay, it says, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh when I have opened your graves, O my people, and brought you up out of your graves, and shall put my spirit in you, and ye shall live, and I shall place you in your own land. Then shall ye know that I, Yahweh, have spoken it and performed it, saith Yahweh. Now, that's basically telling you that everyone was asleep at one point in time, But the Most High chose a certain a remnant, you know, to wake up and get this. Okay, and certain brothers was gonna get, you know what I'm saying, he was gonna wake certain brothers up at certain times, and they were gonna wake other brothers up, and it's just a chain reaction happened. Okay, but it's not gonna happen to all of Israel at once. Okay, it was only gonna happen to an elect chosen. All right, hope this was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostle Nels, a great millstone. Salutations to the Akims, pushing his truth. Shalom.